Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the 239 Real Estate Roundtable podcast. My name is Kevin Tremmel. I am a local real estate agent here in Southwest Florida, and I help people buy, sell, and invest real estate here in our beautiful region. Are you thinking about selling your home in sunny Southwest Florida? With the right preparation, you can maximize your home's value and attract the perfect buyer. So in this video, we'll talk about the 10 essential steps to prepare your home for sale. We'll talk about things like boosting curb appeal, staging like a pro, and even strategies that could help your home sell faster and for more money. So let's dive in. A couple things I want to just mention before we dive into the list. Number one, none of the things that I compiled are really going to break the bank. Okay, so we're not talking about remodel your kitchen for $50,000 or remodel your bathroom or, turn your one-car garage into a two-car garage, right? So these are all fairly simple but effective and inexpensive things that you can do to prepare your home for sale. Also, throughout the list, we're basically going to follow two big concepts of buyer's psychology, right? Number one is you only get one chance to make a first impression. And number two is buyers associate cleanliness and well-maintained things with quality. Okay, so number one on the list is enhanced curb appeal. Okay, so you want to make sure that when any prospective buyers of your properties either drive up for a showing or when they just drive through the neighborhood and they see your real estate agent sign, you want to make sure that the curb appeal of your home is as best as it can be. So two things you can focus on and do here to increase the curb appeal is number one, landscaping. Okay, so we're talking about a well-manicured lawn, trim the bushes, trim the hedges, trim the trees, and adding fresh mulch or rocks to your flower beds. You can really do this, also make it easier by planting native and drought-resistant plants to your home's landscaping. And then next is exterior maintenance. So here we're going to be thinking about things like pressure washing the driveway, pressure washing the exterior of your home, pressure washing and cleaning the gutters, and repainting any faded or chipped areas on your paint. Okay, a clean and well-maintained exterior signals to the buyer that the property has been taken care for well over your ownership. Number two is declutter and depersonalize. So we want to make sure we remove any excess furniture and any personal items to make the rooms appear larger and more inviting. You can either put things like this into the garage, or if you don't have any space, it probably wouldn't hurt to rent a storage unit. You might have to rent a storage unit sooner or later anyway, if there's some transition with moving from your current home into your new home. And also depersonalize. So me personally, I am fine with family photos. I really don't ever tell my clients to take down family photos or memories or things like that. But if you have, very unique furniture, it could help to just kind of dial that back a little bit. Because a buyer wants to imagine your home with their furniture in it, not with your furniture in it, right? And you also want to appeal to the broadest range of buyers that you possibly can, and decluttering and depersonalizing your home a little bit, at least while this home is on the market, can definitely help with that. Number three is deep cleaning. So whether you want to hire a professional or you want to do it yourself, both things are fine, but you really want to give your home a thorough top to bottom clean and then keep it very, very clean. In the industry, we call it showing ready or show ready at any given time, right? Because sometimes buyers are out in the neighborhood, they just looked at your neighbor's house, they saw your home is for sale. You might not have 4, 5, 6, 7 hours to clean your home and get it ready for a showing. You might only have 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours, right? So you just want to make sure your home is always clean and sanitary and always in show ready condition. And in the beginning, when you do that top to bottom clean, we're talking about things like carpet cleaning. windows. Oftentimes in Florida, the sprinkler overspray gets onto the window and leaves that nasty, really white, thick residue on the windows. So you want to get rid of that. You also want to clean hard to reach areas like underneath the microwave, where the cooking grease accumulates over the months and years, on top of your fridge, things like that, things where you don't look every day, but where a buyer might just take a little peek just to test, right? Is this just pig on a lipstick, so to speak, or is this really a nice quality, well-maintained home? You also want to take a special attention to the kitchens and bathrooms. So these areas notoriously are going to get scrutinized by buyers. So just make sure they're immaculate. We're talking clean grout, polished fixtures, no toothpaste residue on the nice chrome fixtures in the bathrooms, no soap residue on the nice glass shower wall, things like that, right? And it also doesn't help to clean the grout, because the grout, it just is what it is. It gets dirty with months and years of living in a home. Repairs. Fourth item on our list is make any necessary repairs. So we're thinking about things like fixing leaks, leaky faucets, leaky pipes, leaky toilets, things like that. Replacing light bulbs, making sure the fans work, making sure the light bulbs work. Because, as example, with a light bulb, buyer turns on a light in a room, it doesn't work. It's probably just going to be the light bulb, but a buyer might think, well, is the electrical wiring okay in this house, right? You basically want to give a buyer no reason for doubt in your home. Also, patch any holes, repair and repaint any drywall holes. If you have kids, right, they're playing against the walls, or you might have moved something a couple months ago and might have dinged the drywall. Definitely repair and repaint those wall imperfections. Next on the list is neutralizing the color palette in your home. So this kind of goes hand in hand with depersonalizing and decluttering, but I did think it deserved its own point, its own mention here. So you want to make sure that your home, again, appeals to the widest range of buyers that we can possibly appeal to. So your favorite color might be pink. That's great. Your whole master bedroom might be painted in a neon pink. That's also great. More power to you. But most buyers are going to want neutral colors, again, that they can envision their furniture in, okay? Or also think clean slate, right? They want to make it their own once they move in. They don't want to inherit your personality and your taste. They want to make it their own. So you have to provide to them a clean slate. So you want to make sure you have a lot of neutral colors like beiges, grays, and soft whites. Those are usually the most neutral. If you have one or two well-placed accent walls in your home, that's fine, right? But if we're talking about, multiple heavy colors in a room, or every room has a different color, things like that, we might have to talk about some repainting. Also, repainting not only the walls. So one thing that gets dirty and dinged up in pretty much every house is the baseboards and the door frames and the doors itself. It can also be a wise investment, depending on how bad it is, to just, while you're painting the walls, or while you have a professional paint the walls, to also take a look at the trims, the casings of the doors itself, and the baseboards. Okay, in my opinion, repainting walls, baseboards, things like that is one of the best bang for your buck improvements you can do to your house before you list it for sale and before pictures get taken. Number 6 on the list is staging your home. So what I mean by that is, I don't mean empty your home of your furniture and hire a professional stager for thousands of dollars to stage your home. That's not what I mean. I mean, work with what you have. Okay? So arrange your current furniture to highlight the flow of rooms and create a sense of space. Okay? So that might mean moving your sectional at a different angle to just kind of open up the space a little bit. Maybe right now you walk into your home and kind of one of the first things you see is the backside of a sectional or a couch, right? It might make the most sense in this room to lay it out like that, but you might want to think about just changing the angle. That way it's more open. You might want to think about if you have some smaller bedrooms, right? We see that a lot. The guest bedrooms just aren't that big, and people just have a lot of stuff in them because they live there, which, that's totally normal. But you might want to think about getting rid of one nightstand just to make the space seem a little bit bigger. You might want to get rid of a desk to just make the space seem bigger, right? Things like that. You also want to make sure every room is well lit with a combination of natural light and light fixtures. So that might mean getting rid of a curtain, or definitely opening up the curtain for showings. That might mean buying a pretty inexpensive light fixture from Home Depot to just give the room that's maybe it's on the side of the house and it doesn't get a lot of natural light. Maybe just buy a fixture for that home, right? Things like that. You just want to make sure the rooms don't appear dark or things like that, and cold and things like that. Number 7 is highlighting outdoor living spaces. So we live in Florida. People spend a lot of time outside, barbecuing, cooking, playing with their pets, things like that. You want the exterior, the outdoor living space of your home to basically be an extension of the interior, right? It should be fairly seamless, right? You open the slider, you're outside, you're not, you can sit down, things like that. So, arranging patio furniture to create an inviting outdoor living area is a good way. If you already have patio furniture, great. Just make sure that the cushions are not faded from the sun and the actual furniture is also not faded from the sun. If you have a pool, make sure that the pool is clean and not filled with algae. Make sure it's well maintained. Make sure that there's no weeds growing in between your pool pavers, things like that. Make sure that the pavers are level, right? If you have some unlevel pavers, it might not hurt to get someone out there to re-level them. It's very easy. They just level it out with sand. Number 8 is pricing competitively. Okay, so your real estate agent is going to present you during their listing presentation with what's called a comparative market analysis, aka a CMA, and they will give you their professional opinion based on the data and the comms on what this home should be listed at. At the end of the day, it is your decision. However, I would highly recommend you listen to your agent because that's what they do for a living, and that's why you hired them for. I often get asked, well, can't we just price this home higher? And people can, always make an offer. People can always look at it, make an offer, right? We can always decrease the price later, right? These are things I regularly hear on listing appointments, but data shows, right, and this is well documented, data shows that an overpriced listing in the long run will actually take longer to sell, and it will actually sell for less money also in the long run. It has to do with something called the stale listing effect, right? As time goes on, buyers' perception of value of your listing goes down. You typically get the best offers, the most activity within the first 3 weeks or so of your listing, right? So consider that. Number 9, and this is my biggest pet peeve, is professional photography. Any real estate agent that you work with, you should ask them if they do professional photography, not just photography on their iPhone 14, as great as it may be. But in today's world, digital world, a good professional photography set is one of the best things you can do for marketing and exposure. So, at a minimum, professional exterior pictures, professional interior pictures, and drone shots, in my opinion. You can talk to your agent about, doing some videography as well, doing a Matterport tour, things like that. But at a minimum, your real estate agent should hire a professional photography company to do exterior, interior pictures, and drone aerials of the exterior of your home. And last on the list, last but not least, is work with a local, keyword local, real estate agent. So let's address the local first. Real estate is very local. Even in Lee and Collier counties, there's certain sub-neighborhoods, certain sub-markets that behave differently than the overall market. So, you might have moved to Southwest Florida from Miami 8 years ago, and your agent from Miami might have helped you back then to find this home that you live in now in Southwest Florida. My recommendation would not be to use that agent from Miami. That doesn't mean that they're a bad agent. That just means that they're not going to be as familiar as a good local agent with the local market. If somebody calls me up, one of my friends' family that lives in Tampa, and say, hey, can you sell my house for me? I would say no. I would say, hey, I can refer you to someone in my brokerage. They'll know the market better. I just want to avoid giving them bad service. And another thing is showings, right? Oftentimes you have last minute showings that you have to be present for as a listing agent, or something's wrong with the house or something like that, and you just have to be at that house short notice. And if you live 2 to 3 hours away, you just can't do that. Okay. Another thing I want to talk about with working with a real estate agent is it might be tempting to sell your home or try to sell your home by yourself. In the industry we call those for sale by owners, FSBOs. Obviously it's tempting to save on some commission by attempting to do it yourself, but actually studies have shown that homes that sell with the help of an agent sell for an average of 26% more than those homes sold for sale by owner. So the money that you're going to be spending on a commission for your listing agent is way less than what you're going to get more for your home, right? You as a consumer, as a seller, you just don't have the same kind of access to marketing tools, as an example, that a professional realtor would have. Okay, so those are the top 10 things to prepare your home for sale. If you are looking or thinking of selling your home here in Southwest Florida, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information, I'll put it right here. I'll also leave my contact information down in the description below, and I will help you and advise you and be happy to answer any questions. Also, I always tell people questions are free. I don't charge for questions, so if you just have a general question about, hey, is now a good time, or things like that, feel free to reach out, and I will catch you on the next episode.